10 million. That's how many times the gym hashtag has been used on YouTube across 1.2 million channels. With so much information out there, it's very easy to be misled and fed false information. So let me share with you my 3 biggest mistakes that I made as a beginner and how you can avoid them. Because of this, when I first started out my fitness journey, I made a lot of mistakes that I could have avoided had I had the right information. Now, there are some common mistakes that everyone will make at some point, whether it's getting enough protein in, tracking your calories right, or the intensity at which you're training. But there are some gym mistakes that are small and hard to spot, but have a drastic effect on the overall progress you can make in your fitness journey. These subtle changes completely changed my approach and the progress I was able to make with my strength and physique. So let me share with you my 3 biggest mistakes that I made as a beginner. Starting with gym mistake number 1, not doing a proper warm-up. We've all arrived at the gym after a long day at work or an early morning rise, and we just want to crack on with our workout, but this could be a hindrance into your progress. I used to be guilty of this all the time. I'd skip the warm-up and go straight into my working weight. This had some issues as I wasn't building the mind-muscle connection, so I wasn't able to fully and properly contract the muscles that I was aiming to contract. This in turn meant that I'm not making as much progress as I could be. Starting off a session with a proper warm-up can definitely prepare your body ready for a high intensity workout. Incorporating a short warm-up before my workouts has increased my performance in the gym. Talking of intensity, this channel is 100 subscribers off hitting 1000, so make sure you do hit that subscribe button. Moving on to gym mistake number 2. This is always doing 3 sets of 12 for every exercise. Although doing 3 sets of 12 isn't necessarily bad, if this is the only rep range that you do for every exercise, you're missing out on a lot of opportunity to improve in the gym. Instead, have a rep range that is targeted towards each exercise. If you want to increase strength, you need to be in a rep range from 5 to 8, whereas if you're focusing on hypertrophy, you want to be in rep ranges from 10 to 12. Changing these rep ranges means that you can focus on the intensity of each exercise. This is crucial if you want to make progress in the gym. Now let's talk about the final gym mistake, which is ego lifting. Ego lifting, or lifting beyond your limits, is a term used when you pick up weight that you simply cannot lift, and you compromise your form to a point where you're risking serious injury. However, ego lifting can be used effectively.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now bear with me. If you're training to failure on exercises like you should be ego lifting a slight bit. Now, it shouldn't be like this every set, and it shouldn't be like that for every rep. If you want to progressively overload each exercise, you need to be training to failure. This will sometimes mean that the form is compromised. However, you need to make sure that you're doing this properly. If you're struggling to perform an exercise with the correct form, try lowering the weight until you find that maybe the last 2 or 3 reps are a bit trickier. This would not class as ego lifting, this is just progressive overload. Any advice from elite lifters like Chris Bumstead, Eddie Hall will always tell you things like this. You need to be working to failure. This sometimes does involve ego lifting.
What?
That's about right.
Why'd you stop?
Because we have like all these other stats. I have to save my fuel.
That's not how working out works.
What?
You don't save your fuel.
But then you're just gonna be exhausted.
How are you gonna make any progress if you're not taking anything close to failure?
And that wraps up the video. If you want to learn more about lifting and powerlifting, make sure you do subscribe as I document my fitness journey. Right, I'll catch you in the next one.